My name is Kat. I started at SFSU as a student. I did some of my undergrad there after I transferred over from community college. And then I continued on to grad school. And I became a staff member about 2 years ago. Before that, I was a student assistant. So overall, I've been with my department for about 3 years.
My name is Adam Paganini, and I am a San Francisco State University alum. I'm a double alum, in fact. I got my bachelor's degree at San Francisco State, and I got my master's degree at San Francisco State. And now I've been an employee at San Francisco State in the Marine Science Department for the last number of years.
I started off as a freshman at SF State in 2005, and I actually left the university in 2008 for a multitude of reasons. Finally returned back in 2015, basically started over as a freshman at SF State all over again, and I graduated with my bachelor's in history and a minor in education in 2018. And went on to actually do my master's, and I just finished in 2020 with my master's in history.
So my name's Mahek Jane. I'm in Portland, Oregon currently, studying online. And I got into this field. It's kind of a funny story. I was supposed to go into a different field. I was in the health career field first. And I did some work. I kind of had a career change. So I did some work in Alaska where I was involved with the fisheries over there. And then I was applying for grad schools and I saw San Francisco State.
I spent some time working as a researcher at the Marine facility. And then about 4 years ago, we got a brand new grant to transform our master's program into really a more interdisciplinary and student-supported cohort program for master's students. And so I've been coordinating that program for the last 4 years after I worked as a researcher for a few years.
I actually spoke with Adam first, and he gave me a really awesome rundown of the program, and he explained to me how he was not in the program, but he basically was one of the people who started it. So I really liked interacting with him, and he was really welcoming. He made me feel, you know, even with my background in health, that it was okay for me to come into this program and just get involved. And so it really made me already feel like I was in a family. Yeah. So that's why I chose Riptide.
I have been with the doctoral program in educational leadership at SF State for almost a year. I managed the entire budget, which sounds simple enough, but our program, we actually don't have any faculty. So where departments have their tenure track, their lecturer, so on, we do not. We have zero. So we actually borrow faculty from other departments.
I am one of only 2 staff members in the math department. And between us, we are able to assist every single student taking not just math majors, but every student that's taking a math class within the university. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's the majority of our students at SFSU.
I think the big kick in the pants is that I received the original notification that went out to all staff and employees at San Francisco State around almost exactly 9 a.m. stating that layoffs had taken place. If I was receiving this notice, you know, I wasn't one of the, you know, the unfortunate. And they also talked about voluntary work reductions, et cetera, et cetera. 38 minutes later, I got my layoff notice telling me it was due to lack of funds, which I find a little controversial because, as I stated, I don't actually work for a department. I work for a fully self-supported program.
In the email, it also said that there had already been layoff notices sent out to staff. They had already decided that staff were going to be laid off, and those who were laid off had already received these notices. I hadn't gotten any notice at that point, so I thought I was safe. About half an hour later, I received another email with the layoff notice.
Everyone in that program that's a staff member received a layoff notice.
Okay.
But there's a caveat. It's just me. I'm the only staff member. If I'm gone, there's no one to coordinate the program, and there's no other staff to help with the program. It's a big deal.
There goes my health care. There goes, my paycheck, and any kind of security that I thought I had in the middle of a pandemic.
It's going to be really challenging to even stay in the Bay Area.
I would really, really like to keep my job. Obviously, if not for the salary, just, and to pay my bills, because I'm not going to cry. It's a middle of a global pandemic.
When I talked to my mentor, she said things were still up in the air and that they're really trying to keep Adam here because, he is a really good asset to the program. If he wasn't there, I don't think the Riptides program would have the diversity and the qualifications that a really good scientist would need.
The fact that I'm the only staff member in the program means that the quality of the program will decline. Also, there will be a backlog of a lot of administrative tasks. And then on top of everything, I think that laying off staff that are in these positions equates to a fundamental reduction in student services.
At this point, I can't encourage students to attend the university, because how can they come to a university that doesn't even support the students? Because at the end of the day, that's why I'm here, is to support students. And if we're not there to support them, where are the students turning to? Sure as heck isn't going to be administration.
It's not a job that anybody can just jump into. It's just so much information that you really gain throughout the years, and so much experience that goes into really being able to support these students, that can't just be, it can't just be taken away and have it be the same academic experience for students.
There's a coalition of us in the union that have sort of created our defense coalition, which is organizing pickets and signing letters and sending letters to elected officials and the chancellor.
We started off by writing some letters that we sent out to President Mahoney. We sent them out to the chancellor's office, basically just saying, this is what the impact would be if you were to lay off employees at this point.
Our student organization is already drafting a letter of protest. Some have already stated that they will refuse to pay tuition unless my position is reinstated, which I do not condone, because, we need to feed other people. We need to pay for the faculty. And
there is money that is supposed to be rainy day funds. There is $1.5 billion in reserves that is specifically put aside in order to help mitigate layoffs, in order to help with economic downturn and be able to save jobs and be able to also help students.
There's pushback, we're pushing back, and there's a lot of support behind us.